How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having a great day, because today we have a story of a spoiled kid that burns down the subscriber's house because he didn't get what he wanted. It's a crazy story. I know you'll enjoy it, so sit back, relax, subscribe if you're new, and let's call the subscriber who submitted this story Nick. So anyways, right, Nick was having his birthday party, and, Nick was, wanting to invite all the people that he wanted to, and, he sent out the invitation, or he didn't send out the invitations, but he was sitting down with his mom, and they were going over who to invite, and Nick was like, oh, I want to invite this person, I want to invite Ben, I want to, people like that, and then came up the name Spoiled Kid. His name wasn't actually Spoiled Kid, but he will be referred to as Spoiled Kid from here on out, and Nick didn't really like him. And it was for good reasons. I mean, this kid was a massive jerk. He was super entitled. He was never told no. And nobody really liked him in the class. However, Nick's mom was like, no, Nick, buddy, I really think you should invite him. I was hearing from his mom on Facebook that he's really struggling to make friends. And I think it'd be such a good opportunity for you guys to really get to know each other deep down, and not this superficial at school stuff, but really start bonding and become friends. And Nick's like, no, Mom, he's the worst. And she's like, no. We can't be judging books by their covers. And Nick tries to explain to his mom, he's not judging a book by its cover. He literally knows this kid. He's been doing stuff. He's been, in school with this kid for many, many years. This is not out of the blue. This kid has been a jerk for a very, very, very long time. This is nothing new. And, no, absolutely not. But his mom actually, surprisingly to Nick, was very no, you're inviting this kid or I'm inviting him. And Nick's like, okay, fine. But, remember, this is my birthday party, and if this kid ruins it, I'm not the one to blame here. And his mom's like, you know what? That's fine with me, because you know what? You guys, by the end of it, are going to be such good friends that you're going to say, thank you, Mom, you made the right call. If you can't already tell by the title of this video, Nick would not go on to say, thank you, Mom, you made the right call. And if he did it very sarcastically. So anyways, the day the birthday party arrives, and Nick is pretty excited because they have some activities planned. He's just kind of waiting around for people to come, and slowly but surely, people start showing up. His friend Ben shows up, Steve, all these people, they all show up, and Nick's having a really good time. And about 30 minutes go by, and Spoiled Kid doesn't show up. So Nick is like, oh, looks like he's a no-show. That's just too bad. Nope. The door opens up, and the Spoiled Kid walks in. He's like, sup, guys? And everybody turns to Nick. They don't even turn to the Spoiled Kid. They turn to Nick, because everybody doesn't like this kid for good reasons, right? And they all kind of look at him like, bro, what are you doing inviting this kid, bro? What are you doing inviting him here? Why? Seriously, bro. Why did you invite him here? I just don't understand why he's here, man. Why would you do this to us, Nick? Why would you do this to us, man? So anyways, first activity was they're all going to play on the Xbox. And the idea was that, Nick had these multiplayer games, or these, not multiplayer, but they were single-player games on the Xbox. But the idea was, people would play, one mission or one campaign that was, 15, 20 minutes or one chapter, whatever. And they would all sit around, drinking some soda, talking with each other. And one person would play this video game at a time, and they'd switch it around. So they walked downstairs, and it's kind of implied that Nick was going to go first, unless he said, I don't want to go first, because he's the birthday kid. He's the one with the birthday here. One would assume that he would be the one that would be allowed to go first, right? That's not super crazy, correct? No, the Spoiled Kid is like, out of my way, guys, I'm going first. And everyone kind of looks around and is like, hey, bro, what do you mean by that? What do you mean you're going first? It's very obvious that, you let the birthday boy choose. What's going on here, buddy? But anyways, Nick's like, okay, whatever, I'll just get some drinks. He's like, guys want drinks? The Spoiled Kid's like, yes. He's like, do you have any soda? And Nick's like, yeah, actually I do. He said, good. Everyone's like, oh my God, why is this kid here? So Ben goes up to Nick while Nick is getting soda from the fridge. And he's like, dude, why is this kid here? And Nick's like, bro, my mom forced me to invite him. Trust me. I'm not happy that he's here either. He sucks. He mega sucks. I know. Trust me. I don't want him here. I want him here as much as you want him here. And he's like, my mom forced me to invite him. We just gotta like have fun, even though he's here. So they go back and sit down, and everyone's talking. They're actually having a pretty good time. And that's when about 15 minutes passes, and the first campaign or whatever metric in the video game that was pretty clear that you would pass it off to someone else happens. And the spoiled kid literally just starts up the next part and keeps playing. And Nick's like, bro, like, do you want to pass that to one of the other boys? And he's like, no, dude, I'm still gaming. Everyone kind of looks around. Nick's like, okay, well, at the next chapter or campaign or whatever, right? Can you just pass it over to one of the guys? Like, I just want to make sure everyone gets a chance. He's like, okay. And Nick's like, okay, well, whatever, that's fine. The spoiled kid agreed that he would pass it over when it was time. Sure enough, the time comes around, and Ben is like wanting to go next. He's like, hey, dude, can you pass it over? Like, it's been 2 campaigns. Spoiled kid's like, bro, I'm in the middle of a game. Can you not interrupt my focus right now? And everyone kind of looks at, they don't even look at the spoiled kid. They all look at Nick. And they're just looking at him. And Nick knows everyone's like, bro, why is this kid here? So anyways, for the next 2 hours, because everyone showed up at 10 in the morning. It was an early start to the birthday party. For the next 2 hours, bro, they were just sitting around as the spoiled kid played Xbox and refused to let anyone on. And the conversation kind of died out because the idea was it's going to be a nice, cheery atmosphere. People were going to be joyful, having some like sodas, messing around, having a good time, passing the Xbox around. No. It was just a spoiled kid hogging up the entire thing. So anyways, that's a little annoying, like no question about it. And for the rest of the day, the spoiled kid continues to do more and more annoying stuff. And let's fast forward to dinner, because this is when things start to get interesting. So it's kind of, the dinner is served like per person plates or whatever, but the dessert is buffet style. It's just like the mom had a big like ice cream. The idea was it was going to be fun. It was going to be scoop your own ice cream. Here's all these condiments or whatever. I mean, not ketchup or, you know what I mean? Like sprinkles, whipped cream, maraschino cherries. It's like a nice little assortment, right? That sounds fun. That's a fun birthday thing. But the spoiled kid, like you would have thought again, birthday boy goes up first, goes to the line, puts on whatever he wants. The spoiled kid grabs a bowl, literally takes like half the ice cream, and then takes the box of sprinkles, dumps the entire box of sprinkles. Not like takes a little scoop, because he takes the spoon out of the box of sprinkles that was supposed to be used to like gently sprinkle the sprinkles on. No, he takes the spoon out and dumps the entire box of sprinkles on it, uses up like half the thing of whipped cream, and then takes a fistful of maraschino cherries. Bro reaches in with his fist and just basically contaminates the whole thing. Gets a big fistful of it and splats it on. And everybody, once again, they don't look at the spoiled kid. They all turn and look at Nick and is like, bro, what is this kid doing here, bro? Like, what is this kid doing here? And once again, Nick's like, guys, I'm sorry, this wasn't my call. So anyways, next thing is, tag, which is a kind of outdoors. It's like a little bit like an hour before light goes down, and like Nick's mom had this whole really cool thing where they had this penny system, and if someone pulled, like, it was like Velcro penny or something, so it was like a Velcro strap, and they had these little 2 flaps or whatever, and you pulled on the flaps, and if it's not just like normal tag, you need to pull on the Velcro thing that would unlatch, and then you would be it, right? So anyways, Nick, I forgot his name. I'm doing this all in one take. So Nick was he's not just the birthday boy, he was it, and he's like, all right, guys, 30 seconds. You can hide if you want to, you don't have to. Basically, if I grab your Velcro thing, you now become it with me, right? So anyways, he counts to 30, and he immediately is like, you know what, screw it, I'm going for the spoiled kid. I don't like this kid. He's going down with me. So anyways, he runs after him, and the spoiled kid was always told that he was just a Greek god and he never needed to exercise. So he was not the fastest man on planet Earth, to say the least. He's not the most agile man. So immediately, right, Nick goes up, rips down his penny, and gets him. He's like, all right, man, so you're it with me. Spoiled kid literally snatches the thing out of Nick's hand, reattaches it, and says, nuh-uh, you didn't get me, and runs off. And Nick is like, you little... So Nick goes around, gets some other people it, He gets Ben and he gets Steve, his two friends. He's like, boys, we need to corner the spoiled kid and get him. He already cheated and reattached his thing. So the three of them, they all run after the spoiled kid. The spoiled kid's like, no, and he kind of waddles away, and they get both of his pennies because they were like two flaps or whatever. And the spoiled kid's like, give them back, give them back. And he kind of makes this like scene. It makes a spectacle because everyone's kind of watching as the spoiled kid is like, you're cheating, give it back, give it back, give it back. He starts like grabbing and fisting and clawing. And he actually is like claws with his long fingernails and scratches Ben. Ben's like, ow. And he drops the penny. Spoiled kid grabs it, puts it on, says, you guys didn't get me, and runs away. At this point, right, Nick's like turns to them. He's like, yo, you know what? We're going to ignore this kid. We're just going to say he quote unquote won and move on. So anyways, Nick goes and like tags everyone else. Totally normal. And everyone's caught except the spoiled kid wasn't caught because he cheated twice, right? The spoiled kid's like, I win. I'm the winner of tag. And they're all like, okay, bro, good for you, buddy. You're a big winner. You're a big winner, bro. Huge W's for you, buddy. Congrats. You're the greatest. Everyone hates this kid even more at this point. So anyways, now it is time for a movie. They're going to spend 2 hours watching a movie. And the thing is, you would assume that the birthday boy would be able to choose the movie. But no. Real quick comment, spoiled if you made it this far into the video. I just like seeing the names and faces of people who made it this far and help support the channel by watching at least this far. I'm going to try and hard as many comments as I possibly can. And also, if you want to support the channel even more than you already have by watching this far into the video, consider maybe after this video or later just sitting down and watching a bunch of videos in a row. And I'm actually really curious. What do you guys do when you watch a bunch of videos in a row? Do you like let them play and you're playing a video game, cleaning your room? Do these videos help you go to bed? Let me know in the comment section down below. And finally, if you want to submit a story like this, go to my Instagram at ConnorPugs and DM me there. But also, everyone there can follow me. I post photos and stuff. I would really appreciate it. It's ConnorPugs. It's in the description. And also, if you haven't already, drop a like in the video. Let's get back to the story as the spoiled kid gets worse and worse and worse until, as you can tell by the title, it gets really, really bad. So anyways, right, the spoiled kids, they all go down to like a little kind of the television room where there's a TV, there's a couch set up, the lights are turned off, so it's kind of like a mock movie theater in a sense. And the spoiled kid is like, I want to watch Iron Man. And at this point, right, Nick didn't want to watch
You ready?
Iron Man a couple days ago with his dad. So he's like, actually, I just recently watched that. I want to watch, I don't know, Avengers or something. And the spoiled kid's like, but I don't want to watch Avengers. And at this point, Ben, Nick's friend, is like, dude, it doesn't matter. You're not the birthday kid. Like, it's Nick's birthday. He chooses. At this point, the spoiled kid grabs Nick's laptop, which they were going to play the movie on because it was connected to the TV, and said, if you guys don't let me watch Iron Man, I'm going to break this laptop. And Nick is like, bro, like, I can't afford a new laptop. And the spoiled kid is like, that's too bad for you, buddy. If we're watching Avengers, I'm breaking the laptop, and you're never going to use it ever again. At this point, everyone's like, bro, put that thing down. Put it down. And Nick is like, fine. We'll watch Iron Man. That's okay, buddy. That's okay. The spoiled kid's like, yeah, nice. I get to watch Iron Man. And he puts it on, he logs in, he's like, what's your login? And Nick's like, I'll just put it in. He's like, now, give me your password. Nick's like, I'm not going to give you my password. At this point, the spoiled kid lifts the computer above his head and is in the motion of about to smash it. Because remember, spoiled kid doesn't understand the value of money. The spoiled kid gets whatever he wants whenever he wants, and he has infinite resources. So he thinks that smashing a computer is a minor inconvenience. He doesn't realize that that is like life ruining for some people, And Nick's like, fine, my password is whatever he says. And the spoiled kid's like, that's a trash password. I'm going to hack you now. Logs in, turns on Iron Man. They're all sitting there. And the spoiled kid is literally sitting with the laptop. So if anyone tries to change it, he would go and he'd just throw the laptop into the wall or something. Very bad situation. So anyways, while this is happening, Ben leans over to Nick and is like, dude, this guy freaking sucks. And, at this point, they're like, yeah, I know. we're going to bed soon. We're going to have like cake tomorrow and be done. Like, this is the worst thing ever. I can't wait to tell my mom about how wrong she is. So they all go upstairs, and it's time for the sleepover, right? Once again, one would think that the birthday boy would be able to sleep in his bed, and everyone else who brought sleeping bags would sleep in the sleeping bags. But no, immediately as they go into the room, the spoiled kid jumps into Nick's bed and kind of makes himself comfortable. And Nick's like, bro, I'm sleeping in the bed. And the spoiled kid literally hisses at him. And Nick is like, turns to Ben, he's like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with this. So he goes down, Nick gets his sleeping bag that he brings to other people's house, and he sleeps on the floor. And Ben, once again, because they're brushing their teeth, Ben's like, dude, like, as much as I'm saying, like, this is ridiculous that he came, like, I'm just sorry for you, bro. This is your birthday party. It's being ruined by this kid. I'm just sorry for you. And Nick's like, I'm sorry for me too, bro. Like, this sucks. So anyways, they go to sleep, and they wake up, and the spoiled kid is sleeping in. And so Nick and Ben decide to have a little bit of a prank, and they slam the door super loud when they're closing it. And they hear a scream, be quiet, like I'm trying to sleep. And that's when, Nick's mom says, cake time, boys. And that's when they see the door slam open with the spoiled kid waddling towards them. And they're like, oh my God, of course this kid would yell at us that he needs to sleep. But as soon as he hears cake, he's like, oh, cake, I need some cake. So anyways, they're all walking downstairs, and they get down to the kitchen. And there's a cake with a bunch of candles for the number of years of how old Nick is, right? And at this point, they're like, they gather around the table, and, Nick's mom is like, happy birthday. He's like, guys, join in. Everyone starts singing happy birthday to. But the only kid, can you guys guess which kid was not singing happy birthday to Nick this day? Oh, take a wild guess, guys. Take a wild freaking guess. Oh, did you say the spoiled kid? Yeah, you're right. But it gets worse. So they end the happy birthday song, and Nick's mom's like, all right, Nick, blow out the candles, make a wish. And Nick is like, kind of inhales, and that's when the spoiled kid goes, blows out every single candle, says, I took your wish. And at this point, Nick's mom's like, oh, okay, I'll get the cake cutter, because she's, not trying to, cause a scene. And everyone's like, dude, why did you blow out Nick's candles? And the spoiled kid's like, well, I just felt like I deserved to blow it out. And they're like, dude, what? So anyways, right, they cut the cake up. The spoiled kid, takes, half the cake or whatever, but, that's nothing new. That's nothing unexpected. And that's when it's time to open the presents. So anyways, right, Nick's mom's like, all right, Nick, time to open the presents. And she hands the present to Nick. But in between handing the present to Nick, the spoiled kid intercepts and grabs it, but doesn't rip it out of the hands. It's just Nick's hand is on the present, Nick's mom's hand is on the presents, and the spoiled kid Grubby's paws are on the present as well. And he's like, I want to open it for Nick. And, Nick's mom's like, no, Nick's going to open this present. The spoiled kid's like, but I want to. And she's like, well, you can at your own birthday party. Nick's mom was kind of putting her foot down here, which kind of respect, but also respect taken back for allowing this kid at the party in the first place. But whatever. That's in the past, man. So anyways, Nick's mom kind of puts her foot down and is like, no, dude, my son is opening his own birthday presents. I'm not allowing you to come in here and take that away from him. So the spoiled kid, remember, this is the first time in a long time the spoiled kid has been told no. So he sits down, he crosses his arms, and his face gets red like a tomato. He is very, very angry. And that's when he storms off to the kitchen. And Nick and Nick's mom kind of look at each other like, do we have to deal with this? In the middle of Nick having some good time with his friends, opening up the presents that they gave him to say, thank you, you've been a good friend, happy birthday, bro. But nope, that time had to be ruined/interrupted because sure enough, the spoiled kid, oh yes, the spoiled kid is having a tantrum. And that's when Nick's mom is like, what do I smell? And Nick's like, are you cooking something, Mom? Like, did you leave something in the oven? She's like, no, I'm not cooking anything. And that's when they both run into the kitchen, as well as a few other guys. And they see two curtains, like the two drapes for like a window, completely on fire. And they see the spoiled kid with a box of matches trying to set the napkins on fire as well. So immediately the spoiled kid is like, you should have let me open the presents. Now you pay the price. He's setting the whole place on fire, right? So at this point, like, Nick is like, oh my God, and goes over, basically tackles the spoiled kid, and the spoiled kid's like, oh, Nick hurt me. Nick's mom, punish him now. Nick's mom's not ignoring this kid, right? She's trying to put out the fire. It's spreading, and she's like, all right, calls 911, gets the fire, like says like, we have a fire in the house, we need people to come over. She then turns around, turns all the kids and says, all you kids need to get out of this house immediately. They all file out, they like kind of count to make sure everyone is there. And the spoiled kid is sitting on the ground and is like, ow, Nick hurt me. I'm feeling all ouchy. And all the kids are completely ignoring him because they're like, nope, we don't care. We hope that you fracture every bone in your little body. We do not care. So anyways, fire department comes and they go in there, and thankfully the entire house is not burned down to a crisp. However, the entire kitchen is completely destroyed, and a little bit of the living room as well. The fire was spreading, and the kid basically burned down this kid's house. Not to the ground, but there was a ton of damage, right? So anyways, after the fire department talks with, Nick's mom like calls all the parents, explains what happens, and then also calls up the spoiled mom's parents, or the spoiled kid's mom, and explains in great detail what just happened. So anyways, all the cars come up. They're all like going over to Nick's mom, said, I'm so sorry about what happened. And then the parent gives like a little side eye to the spoiled kid who's like, what? I wasn't able to open the present, so I did a little damage. Oopsies. This kid isn't getting like what he just did, right? He doesn't understand what just happened. So anyways, eventually the spoiled kid's mom arrives and she walks up and she is so angry. And she comes over to like Nick's mom and is like, I'm so sorry. Like, here's my number. Here's my email. Send me a bill for the damages. I will pay it in full. I do not care. I'm not even gonna check. Charge me whatever you need for it. And then she goes over and she's like, spoiled kid, middle name, last name. Insert a first, middle, and last name. When your parents call you, or when someone's parents call them by their first, middle, and last name, it's over, bro. Might as well just pack up, and you got to run away from home at that point because you're in big trouble, dude. If they whip out the middle name, oh my God, it's done for you. I'm not trying to be, a downer here. It's done for you. So the spoiled kid's like, Mom, Nick hurt me. I got boo-boos on. In the middle of saying that, he's pulled up by the scruff of his neck, and she's like, look here, you. And he's like, oh, Mom, what? But they didn't let me open the presents. She's like, I don't care. And she's like dragging this kid away, and he's like, but Mom, all I did was do a little oopsie in the kitchen. A little oopsie in the kitchen, because they didn't let me open the presents. And then Nick, the big bad boy, he jumped on top of me when I was doing the oopsie and it hurts. And she's like, I don't care. Like, you are gonna have a conversation with me and your father. He's like, no, but you don't understand my point of view in this whole thing. No. And she's like dragged away. At this point, Nick and his mom are standing there, and they're just watching parents come, give their condolences for the house, and pick up their kids. And Nick turns to his mom. She's like, Nick, I know what you're going to say. And Nick's like, Mom, I have to say it. And Nick's mom's like, okay, you know what? Fine. Nick's like, told you so. She's like, you know what? Okay, I deserve that. That's fine. And she's like, Nick, what happened today? Like, seriously, what happened? Like, I need to know. Nick's like, Mom, it was the craziest last 24 hours I've ever had. This kid's the worst up until what just happened that you saw. Let me tell you all about it.
Click on the video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it.